13th January was my due date. Well, we passed it to our surprise. Said baby has been so active throughout the pregnancy. So active that sometimes I was scared of going into the premature labor, literally. And throughout the pregnancy, never once we thought that we will pass our due date. I waited till 41 weeks, one day, that is till 21st of January for him to come. But he played shy. He got too cozy inside my womb, and as much as I was enjoying his tiny little kicks inside me, I was dying to hold him, look at him, and just have him for real. Till the last day, my cervix was closed, no sign of mucus plug or Braxton Hicks were on radar. After a lot of to's and fro's, lots of discussion and research, I decided to get induced the next day when I was 41 weeks, 2 days pregnant. Next day, I got admitted in the hospital to get my induction process started. I started with vaginal gel as the induction method on 22nd of January, Saturday at 2 p.m. I waited for 8 hours, but nothing happened. I just had some minor contractions that lasted for less than 20 minutes. It was 10 p.m. when I went for my next CTG and to decide if we should continue with the induction process now or wait for some more time. I decided to get induced with a higher dose of vaginal gel at 12:30 a.m. I was physically and mentally ready for labor to begin in the middle of night while I was all alone in the hospital because Ugam was not allowed. Hello to the pandemic. I was ready to meet my baby. I was ready to hold him. They gave me next higher dose of vaginal gel at 12:30 a.m. and I waited for hours but no sign of labor till around 4 a.m. on 23rd of January, which was Sunday. I started getting contraction. I was managing it all alone, just fine when I gave up at 6 a.m. It is when I requested the midwives to let me call Ugam because I couldn't do it alone. I needed my husband, I needed him by my side because the contractions were much frequent, much stronger. You know how it is when you are induced, it's much stronger and it's even harder. They allowed Ugam to come to me, and by then I was 4 centimeter dilated by 6:30 a.m. My dilation happened really quickly as I focused on my breathing and used birthing ball. In my birthing plan, I had already decided that I will take epidural if pain goes out of control. I went in with open mind. I reached my maximum pain level by 7 a.m., which is when I decided to get epidural. As my pain went down, series of turning events took place. He started jumping inside like always and he changed his position and he became tilted right when I was getting ready for the pushing phase, the final phase. His position was not right for a normal delivery. Our stress level went higher because having a normal delivery was always the plan, which was not possible in this case. Getting him in the right position for normal delivery was now our priority. I did many exercises under the guidance of midwives with epidural on to bring him in the right position. An hour later, luckily he did change his position and came in the optimal position for normal delivery. I was extremely happy, but it lasted only for few minutes. When he changed his position, he went a little up rather than dropping into pelvis. This was a turning point for us. My contractions were getting stronger and stronger, but he wasn't ready to come out. Around 11:30 or 12, I was 10 centimeter dilated, ready to push. This was very quick. I was surprised with my dilation, but pushing only could begin once he comes in pelvis, which he didn't. After that, we started noticing that my contractions were getting extremely strong, stronger than before, which were causing him stress and his heartbeat started to fluctuate, super less and extremely critical. Around 12:30 p.m., they said we have to push and bring the baby down. There is no time, it's getting risky. I started to push, and the more I pushed, the more his heart rate went down. I was on my second push when suddenly, as I was pushing, they stopped everything in between and started to remove all the attachments I had on me. I felt scared. My heart rate went up. I was confused of what was happening. I saw Ogam. I could see the tension he was holding within him. He saw my teary eyes, and just within less than 3 minutes, he was not there in front of me anymore. There were doctors between us, and I was being moved from current room to the operation theatre. Within a few minutes, everything changed. I went from pushing phase to getting full body anesthesia at 12:55 p.m. to not knowing what was going to happen. As I laid in the operation theatre, doctor said, "Think of the most precious memory and take a deep breath." I remember thinking of mine and Ugam's first meeting as tears rolled down my cheeks. Everything was so quick, it's hard to explain. I was so numb, I was asleep. Ugam had no idea where I was for an hour. When I was in the unconscious state after delivering my baby, it was hard for Ugam on the other side. When he was born, he had a very low level oxygen in his blood and was on ventilator for 15 minutes. I woke up after an hour totally in a panic traumatized state, and all I wanted was my baby. I shouted. I shouted for someone to give me my baby. And Ugam standing next to him while holding my baby in his hand. He said, "We are here, he's in my hand." I couldn't see. My eyes were blurred. I couldn't see anything. I had lost my vision. It felt scary. And slowly, as my vision came back, as the anesthesia dropped down, and when I held my baby for the first time, it was a life changing moment. I felt alive, traumatized, overwhelmed, and most joyful all at the same time. He saw his baby for the first time on the ventilator. I can't imagine the pain he must have gone through. He was under so much stress of not knowing where his wife is, instability in baby's oxygen level, and so many unknowns. He stood there, holding all the stress within him, only to see me and his baby and to make sure that everything has went well. At 1:10 p.m., I delivered my baby and he was fine by 1:30. They got baby Said's heartbeat stabilized, and Ugam saw me around 2:30 p.m. in a sleep state. I woke up at 2:45 where I held my baby and everything was just so much worth it. And rest is history.